Hello everybody, my name is Xanity109, and welcome to my channel. Today, I'm going to do a world tour of my Minecraft survival world. I started this world on December 21st, 2023, and at the time of recording, today is August 28th, 2025. I'm mostly making this video so that in the future I can look back on it and see all the progress that I've made, and what I started with in my survival world. I'm standing right here at world spawn. I built this little cabin here a while ago, and it hasn't been here since the beginning of the world, not by far. But I built it so in case I ever respawn here at night and I need somewhere to go, I can just come in here and sleep really easily. There's a signpost here pointing to the two main areas of my world, the city of Einheit and the Citadel, which is that way. We're going to begin by taking a look at the city of Einheit. This is the city of Einheit, my survival city. This is my base. I've got a lot of different farms and things inside some of the different buildings. But we're going to take a look at where it all began. This is my starter house. I built this just a couple hours into the world before I'd even found iron, just as a place to live and make a base. I ended up living here for a couple months into the world. But if we go inside, the interior is still the same as when I first built it. The only thing that's changed is I've taken everything out of the chests. I put this sign here when I made the world, so that I would remember when I built it. Going upstairs, there's not really much up here. Just a map, my enchanting setup, brewing setup, just a bunch of your basic survival needs. The only thing that's missing is the enchanting table. The main feature of this house that I still use for is down in the basement. What was originally in here, I've moved down below, to where this is my my villager trading hall. I've got a decent amount of villagers, mostly just the main ones, the ones with protection, silk touch, my mending villager. These guys are what I use for XP and emeralds a lot of the time. So, yeah. After I built this house, the next building I built was the barn over here. Now in the barn, I've got a couple animals. I've got a naturally spawned pink sheep, my cows that I've had since the beginning of the world, two brown pandas that I've found, and my camel. Moving on outside the barn, I'm going to go through these buildings in chronological order of when they were built. The next building we have that I built is this one. It's a small basic build with just a simple automatic sugar cane farm inside it. I built a bigger one though, so I don't really use that much. Afterwards, we moved on and I built this. This is a sniffer building. I have upgraded this one as well, though, other parts of the world. After all this, I started putting the paths in, connecting the buildings, and then I built this small house over here with a balcony overlooking the river and to the other side. Most of the interiors are not done in these buildings, but that's something that's on my list of stuff to do. Like I said, I'm making this video so I can look back on it and see the progress that I've made. Next, I built a butcher shop over here I actually did an interior on this one. Just a small, basic interior with a freezer put in underneath it to store the meat. Moving back over here, out behind we just have another small building, and then this building right here that it used to have a wool farm in it, but I've since taken it out. There's nothing in here. Like I said, a lot of the interiors of these buildings still need done. Moving on past my starter house and the butcher's shop, there's another district of the town over here. I have to give credit, I took inspiration of this windmill design from the YouTuber Gemini Tay. I did modify it though, with mainly the roof and the material of the central tower. But I have to give credit where credit's due. This is sort of smaller, more simpler houses. Most of them don't even have an inside. The doors just lead to nowhere. But I built this as sort of like a smaller, more backwater type of community in the world, with a path that extends and loops back around to the barn. Here we just have two other buildings, no inside, just to fill space. This is my original cow pen. I moved the cows into the barn since then. But now that we've covered everything on this side of the river, it's time to take a look at what's on the other side. I built this bridge here, connecting over to my blacksmith's shop. Underneath the blacksmith is my mine, that goes down to my mine. And then I built a custom tree, which we're going to go back here to view better, for my nether portal, right here. Moving back this way, we've got a window into the turtle tank that I've got. Turtle tank. And then here's a small secondary outdoor blacksmith connected to the armory right there. This building, to my right, is just a small, simple house. I don't really have anything other than just a snow golem and some stuff in here. But if we look at the big bridge that goes back across the river, you can see an anchor here. This used to be an iron golem farm, but it broke and I never bothered to refix it, so I turned it into a small statue there by the harbor. But this building here, this is the building that I want to talk about. This is my storage building. The house that I live in and have lived in since, well, for over a year now of playing in this world. The main floor has a lot of my natural materials. Stone, cobblestone, deep slate, different various materials, the grass, way too much dirt, sand, a lot of your naturals, along with all the different wood variants over here. The nether wood is upstairs in the nether section. Going down into the basement, we have a tank with a frog in it, storage for hostile mob drops, and storage for armor and tools over here. Nothing's in this section yet. I also have a world map up here, showcasing the village. This is where we were just at, the inland portion, and we've moved over here through this to the storage building right here on the island. Now, moving back upstairs, we go from the main floor to the second floor, where I've just kind of got a nice decorative area out here. And in here is my main work area with my ender chest, my shulker boxes, extra shulker boxes, crafting tables, furnaces. Over here we have more natural plant varieties, and over here is building blocks like copper and resin, prismarine, bricks, sandstone, mud, a lot of the terracottas and natural other building blocks are here. Moving on upstairs to the final floor though, we have dye storage for all the different wool and the different colored dyed items up here. Some miscellaneous storage, my enchanting setup, my passive mob drops, and my nether storage. This is my bedroom right here, and since it's dark, I'm going to go ahead and sleep. This storage building is probably the building in the world that I am the most proud of, as it's the first good, what I would consider good build with a good interior that I've actually made, and it kind of helped my confidence in building to grow. So I'm never going to move out of here, no matter how much my storage expands. I'll just keep shoving stuff in shulkers. I plan on living in this building forever. Out here from the second floor, there is a crane that's hoisting some stone up into the storage building. But from down here, if we move this way, we're going to cover this side of the island now. There is a little courtyard out here with a fountain and some market stalls along this side, as well as a cart with some lumber. This is the tavern, which needs a better interior. This is a map of my world as of February 24th, 2024. So you can kind of see the progress there in that map. Upstairs, we have my automatic pumpkin and melon farm up here, which is what I use to trade with the villagers. Across the way in this smaller building here, there's nothing really in it other than just a small automatic cactus farm down there. Over here behind my storage building, we have, as I mentioned earlier, my larger sniffer farm, where I harvest the sniffer plants and they get deposited via minecart down into this barrel. If we go back here, we get to the docks and the shipyard, which, again, credit, I based this boat off of a boat from the YouTuber Geminite, because I'm horrible at building boats and I really don't want to try to do that. But we have the docks back here. Now moving around to the other side of the tavern, we have a larger crane to help load cargo onto ships here in the river, as well as a horse stable with my original horse in it. The horses that I have now that are faster are somewhere else, which I will show you later. There's a boat that I've built. That one I built by myself out here in the harbor, as well as, for some reason, there is a weird floating shipwreck that was naturally generated out there. If we move up here, this whole terrain is all custom built. Originally this was all at water level and it was a dark oak forest. But I built the terrain up here, and I put a small village up here too, or part of the bigger city. There's a lot of smaller houses up here, but underground I have an automatic sugarcane farm that gets deposited into here with redstone. None of these buildings really have much interior, but as we move over here, we get to the lighthouse at the edge. Walking down this path to the beach, there's a little bit of a beach here at the end of the island, but I have this little monument type. It's just like a outdoor gathering place here with a little fountain in the middle outside here on the beach. This building, which goes back up to the top of the cliffs, has a spiral staircase kind of that you walk around. But when you walk in here, this one I really need to do the interior for, because I could probably make something really cool in here. But it's got a decent big interior, and if you exit back out here, you'll end up back over here. This time, moving to the other side of my storage building, we just covered that side. We can come up this road here to this house. This house holds no specific purpose, but I did decide to build an interior for it for some reason. I like this bed. You can sit on this bed and the sun sets over there, which is really fun. Exiting over here, this is the armory that I had mentioned earlier that connects to the blacksmiths. And you have a good, nice overhead view of the turtle pond from here. Moving back out this way, this is an automatic sheep farm in here. There's only 3 different colors: light gray, gray, and white wool that I'm producing. But it's enough to suffice. Coming back here, I don't exactly have a necessary built path coming to this, but this is a fisherman's house. There's another little crane to haul stuff up from up here, and if we go downstairs, there is an interior here. This is kind of a second smaller dock area for fishermen to fish off of. I even put a little crab cage there, fish cage, to simulate what would happen in the real world with catching stuff. I have my happy guest here. I haven't built anything for my happy guest yet. That's on my to-do list too. But here we come to a second tavern that I've built. This one has a little castle-type arched gate leading to a small house with nothing. But if we go inside here, it's kind of a darker vibe with some kegs and the bar here. There's nothing in the upstairs yet, but I still need to work on that. Coming through here, we have my cathedral. I spent a long time building this. This is the biggest structure in the city, the cathedral that I'm referring to as the Unity Chapel. Which, if you didn't know, the city that I've called the city of Einheit. Einheit is the German word for unity. It means unity in German. But if we come in here, we have the inside. All my dogs. Jesus, yay. I've got the pulpit up here. Preacher can preach from the pulpit. And there's actually, if we come back over here, into the sides, you can get access into the two towers of the cathedral. But there's a bell that's connected to a daylight sensor up here. So, moving back outside the cathedral, we're gonna tour the next district of the city. The district here with the pale oak roofs. I built this shortly after the pale oak wood was introduced into Minecraft. We have another building here, no interior again, but you can walk around this side. We're gonna kind of move on to this side of the cathedral. If we come down here, there's another smaller slum type section with some smaller buildings and just barrels piled up everywhere. With this other path that takes you down to this other smaller house by the water. Then coming back up here and looping around this way, there's a little outdoor seating area here that I still need to work on. And then we come down here to this house. I have another house interior here. But moving back up here, we're gonna move on then to another district. There's these houses are built out of stone bricks with like jungle wood and stuff, but there's this diagonal one here. And then this is a diagonal street. These houses are basically just replicas of each other. I got inspiration for these from the YouTuber Flip, so I gotta give credit there. But moving down here, there's really, this is area of the city is still very much a work in progress. But there's this little back area here with just some plants back here hidden behind that row of houses. No interior in these either, just like that. But the rest of this island, is still work in progress. I still have to fill the city in here. So that's my next goal to work on. Looking out here from the boat in the main harbor, there's a smaller guard tower out here on the other side of the river that circles around the island. And a fun little thing where if you shoot the target there, it come on, it shoots off a firework for you, kind of an archery practice type thing. But yeah, I've got this little jungle themed tower over here. No interior in that either. But I do want to take you over to this really quickly. This is a monument type thing that I built. Some like ancient ruins with floating rocks. I don't know, it doesn't have any lore purposes or anything like that. I just think it looks cool. It's just kind of like an old ruin that they built the city by. And then down below here, there's just kind of a room with some statues in it. I'm still working on this. This is a work in progress, but yeah. And then lastly over here, there's just a small little house with a potato farm. I used to farm over here and then trade that to my villagers. So back over here at the barn. If we come through the barn, we meet this little gate in the back palisade wall that stretches around the part of the village that's not an island. If we go through this gate, it's kind of a dark forest, really high vegetation. But there's a path, and if you follow the path outside of the main gate, you will go up the hill to Einheit Castle. I built the exterior of this castle in 3 days, and I'm still working on the interior. There's still a lot that needs done up here. But this is the gatehouse to Einheit Castle. Also, I did build this before Pale Oak was in the game, so I had to come in and I added all this stuff back in here as terraforming. The color scheming of this castle was not only based on the trial chambers, but it's also based on the color scheming from a base I had on my old Pocket Edition world that I used to play. If we come inside the castle here, there's a small smith outside of in the walls in the main courtyard here, as well as buildings here. If you come up the stairs, you can go in here. There's a room that connects into the wall, but there's several rooms. They stretch between the walls and just kind of snake around. My goal is to try and be able to move throughout all these buildings without ever having to go into the courtyard. But there is also a smaller room at the bottom that connects into the towers of the gatehouse. But we have a horse stable over here. These are the faster horses that I've found in the game. And moving on over here, we've got the keep. 4 towers in the corner, and then one bigger one on top. But this is the throne room for the ruler of the Kingdom of Einheit. I did magma blocks underneath copper grates and a throne. The throne is based on the throne in Jabba's palace from Star Wars in the Book of Boba Fett. That's kind of what I based the throne off of. But there's a painting of a very good dog on the back. And the king can sit here and stare out and subject his people. There's these columns on the edges of the walls to there's more up there. Like I said, the interior of this is very much unfinished. I've still got a lot of work to do. But if we do go upstairs through the kind of back corridor that goes behind the throne room, you can see there's not really much up here. But this is a broader world map of my world. You can see we started off here in this side of the village, and then we moved over here and did that, and now we're here in Einheit Castle. Einheit Castle's here. The cabin we started the video out at is right there along that road. You can see that road. That's World Spawn, and then that's the Citadel, which we're gonna get to. Last. Moving back out of the throne room here, we're gonna come into this circular tower here. This is probably one of my favorite interiors that I've done. This is the Grand Library in the castle, right here. There's a fully functional enchanting setup right here, but smaller map of the castle. But I really like the interior I did in this, the balcony up there with more bookshelves. I still have to figure out what to do in those empty spaces and along this tower here. But that door goes into the throne room. But if you move up the stairs, you have access into the upper balcony here, looking out over the courtyard and looking down into the main floor of the library. But moving back into this tower, there's a ladder here. This will take you up. This is one of those four towers in the corner of the keep. This will take you up to kind of the top of the keep. Oh crap. Moving back up here in a cut so you guys didn't have to see me run all the way back up here. This takes us to the top of our keep here, which from this tower we also have access and can run around the top of the library tower. There is another tower up here that I haven't done interior in yet, but that's the same with this main tower up here, the big tower at the very top of the castle, above the keep. The throne room is directly below us. But if we go up this ladder here to the top, we can see that there's a wonderful view over the village and over the entire world. This is probably one of the best views of the village, but that right there is my starter house, and we worked our way around there, went over, saw that, and then the storage building, then over there, and then over in here. But yeah, this is from down there. That's the bottom of the courtyard where we started in the castle at. But that's the the main part of the castle. Then flying back down here, if we go over here, there's another tower. It's archway. We can come down here and enter the bottom floor of this room. Behind that wall is the throne room for reference. There's nothing in here yet. I plan on moving the world map into here and using this as kind of like, I'm not sure, like offices or something. But there's this big building that also connects out into the throne room in here. Then we go back up over that arch. There's kind of a little walk around path outside here. But this isn't just a main tower here. But moving out back is more simple. It's less defended, less guarded. There's just kind of a nice wall, small wall here with a dirt path that snakes around the entire castle. I want to add a building here, going up to kind of cover this blank wall. Same with around this corner on the other side. I want to put something here to kind of cover that blank wall. But this actually takes us back into the throne room, where we're going to conclude our tour of the castle. Back down at World Spawn here, we saw the city of Einheit. Now we're going to go and see the Citadel, which is a much shorter walk on the path, so I'm not going to cut it out this time. Exiting the forest here, we can see the main tower of the Citadel. I want to explain a little bit of the history of this build. I used to play Minecraft on Pocket Edition on my phone back when I was in middle school and early into high school before I got my computer. And this was my survival base on my Pocket Edition world, the first long-term survival world I ever had. I kept a bunch of screenshots of it, but I just recently fully block for block rebuilt it here on my new main survival world as a way to kind of like honor the memory of my Pocket Edition worlds. If we enter into here, I haven't done any interiors in this, but there's just a couple of small rooms inside the towers here. The gatehouse, the main tower here, which I haven't done the interior for, stretches all the way up. But if we come up here, we can go up and we can walk around here on top of the gatehouse and around here. This kind of stretches over those small little buildings that I didn't do an interior for over here. Something cool that I really like about this base is it's over here. If you come up this ladder here, you can actually walk inside the gatehouse. Like there's little arrow slits here for archers to defend the bridge going over into the Citadel with if they want to. Back outside, there's a small little hut here. This tower is what that bridge connects to, and then we've just got this one larger tower here that connects to a little sky bridge that spans between these two structures. Out back here, I have plans to build a panda sanctuary or like a zoo type thing back here, maybe another village. But if we go over here, we can kind of see that there's a building back here on this side of the tower through that. Now, up at the top of the main tower of the Citadel, we actually have a really good look out over the castle and the village of Einheit and kind of the path that goes back over to there. Yeah, this is the last thing I've built that I need to show you guys. So if you could, please like, subscribe, and please comment giving me some ideas for this world. Ideas on what to build are some of what I struggle with the most, and so the feedback would be it would be really enjoyable. It would help me to motivate myself to make more videos, and maybe if some of the feedback is good, I'll actually record myself building something and like record myself making a build. So yeah, hey, thank you so much for watching. Have a blessed day.